There was something truly magical about being a teenager in the 1970s, a time when your bedroom wasn't just a place to sleep, it was your world. It was the one spot in the house that was fully yours, a place where you could dream, escape, and begin to figure out who you really were. You'd close the door, put on a record, and suddenly the rest of the world faded away. Maybe you sprawled across your bed writing poems in a spiral notebook, or stared at your ceiling while a lava lamp quietly bubbled beside you. For some, it was the scent of incense hanging in the air. For others, it was that long phone cord stretched across the hall so you could whisper secrets to your best friend or first crush. Today, we're taking a heartfelt walk back in time to explore 10 things every teen had in their room in the 1970s. The lava lamp. If you walked into any teen's room in the 70s, chances are you'd spot a lava lamp glowing softly in the corner, like a tiny galaxy trapped in glass. The wax would rise and fall in slow motion, almost like it was breathing. And in a way, it kind of matched your own rhythm, especially on those nights when your heart was heavy or your mind was spinning. Lava lamps were more than just a trend. They were mood setters, a visual escape, something oddly soothing in a world that didn't always feel calm. Available in all kinds of funky colors, from electric orange to deep blue, they added a cozy, almost otherworldly vibe to your space. You didn't just see the lava lamp. You felt it. It kept you company. And in a time before cell phones and constant noise, that soft glow felt like a quiet friend. Wall-to-wall posters. Teen bedrooms in the 1970s weren't known for subtlety, they were alive. The walls were often completely covered, edge to edge, in posters that shouted out who you were. Whether it was Kiss in full makeup, a dreamy David Cassidy, or peace signs and psychedelic art, your walls were your personal billboard. These weren't just decorations, they were declarations. You didn't buy posters to impress anyone. You got them because they meant something. Maybe it was the band that got you through a breakup, or the movie that made you feel seen. You'd stare at those images for hours, imagining what it would be like to be on that stage or in that world. Posters faded, corners curled, and sometimes they'd fall off in the middle of the night with a soft thud, but they were part of your room's soul. And you didn't just live in that room, you belonged in it. Beanbag chairs. They looked a little silly. They were impossible to keep clean. But there was nothing like sinking into a beanbag chair after a long day. They squished just right. Not quite a bed, not quite a chair. Just something soft and shapeless that fit you. Beanbag chairs came in every color, bright red, neon green, fuzzy blue. They were fun, funky, and somehow perfect for everything from reading comics, to writing in your diary, to listening to your favorite tunes. Sure, over time they lost their fluff or sprung a leak, spilling tiny styrofoam beads everywhere. But nobody cared. They were yours. They made your room feel casual and fun, like a place where you didn't have to act grown-up just yet. Turntables and 8 tracks. Before music became a background noise on your phone, it was a ritual. You'd pull a record out of its sleeve like it was a treasure, gently set it on the turntable, and lower the needle with care. That first soft crackle meant everything. It was like saying, okay, let's feel something. For teens in the 70s, music wasn't just entertainment, it was identity. You might have lined up your vinyls in milk crates, alphabetized or stacked haphazardly on the floor. From Fleetwood Mac to Marvin Gaye, those songs understood you better than most people did. If you had an 8-track player, you knew the pain of the tracks switching mid-song, but you didn't care. Whether you were dancing in your socks or lying on the carpet with eyes closed, music was how you made sense of the world. And your room was your concert hall. Waterbeds. Getting a waterbed as a teen in the 70s felt like hitting the jackpot. These things were the stuff of legend, a mattress filled with warm, sloshing water that made you feel like you were floating in a pool all night. It wasn't for everyone, but if you had one, you knew you were cool. They looked sleek and modern, with shiny frames and built-in headboards. Some even had mirrors, which made parents nervous for entirely different reasons. The gentle motion was oddly relaxing, like being rocked to sleep. But waterbeds were a commitment. You had to fill them with a hose, treat the water, and pray they didn't leak. Still, they were bold, a little rebellious, and made you feel like you were ahead of your time. For many teens, it was the ultimate flex. Blacklight posters. By day, they looked like normal posters. But when you flicked on your blacklight, that's when the magic started. Suddenly, your walls glowed, fluorescent colors lighting up in wild patterns. The tiger's eyes gleamed, the stars shimmered, the shapes seemed to move if you stared long enough. Blacklight posters were trippy, weird, and totally fascinating. They gave your room a surreal, almost dreamlike feeling. A little escape from the everyday. They weren't just cool, they were experiences. You'd invite friends over just to show them. You'd turn the lights off, crank the stereo, and watch as your whole room transformed into a glowing galaxy. It was like stepping into another world, without ever leaving your bed. Incense burners. Some teens lit incense to hide the smell of things they shouldn't have had. Others just liked the way it made the room feel. Deeper, mysterious. Come, with a single spark, the whole place filled with that earthy, smoky scent that still lingers in memory today. Incense came in dozens of blends, sandalwood, patchouli, nag champa, each one with its own vibe. You didn't just light it. You watched it. The way the smoke curled up into the air felt peaceful, even poetic. It was part rebellion, part ritual. You felt older somehow, more in control. And every time you caught that scent years later, at a flea market, a record store, or someone's garage, it took you right back. 8. Beaded curtains and peace signs. Nothing said, "This is my space," like walking through a beaded curtain. They clacked softly behind you, letting the world know you had just entered a vibe. They came in colors and shapes, sometimes homemade, sometimes store-bought, but always cool. And peace signs? They were everywhere, on posters, pillows, belt buckles, jewelry. It wasn't just a symbol, it was a statement. About hope, love, and wanting a better world than the one you'd inherited. For teens growing up in the shadow of Vietnam, civil rights protests, and shifting culture, these weren't just decorations. They were declarations. Quiet, powerful ones that said, "I believe things can change." The house phone. It wasn't in your room, but it might as well have been. That house phone, the one mounted on the wall or sitting on the kitchen counter, had a cord long enough to snake around corners and under doors. If you were lucky, you had your own extension. If not, you made do. Teen calls could go on for hours. Laughing, venting, flirting, dreaming. You curled up in closets or lay on the carpet, twirling the cord around your finger while talking about everything and nothing. And when someone else picked up on the other line, you learned just how quickly a heart could stop. There were no texts, no call logs, just voices, real ones. And when that call ended, you'd sit in the quiet, smiling or sighing, knowing that, for a while, you were really heard. A crate full of records. That dusty crate under the desk held more than just vinyl, it held memories. Each record was a snapshot in time. The one you played after your first kiss. The one you played after your first heartbreak. The one you never told anyone you liked, but sang every word to when you were alone. You didn't shuffle songs. You didn't skip around. You let the needle ride from beginning to end, feeling every rise and fall. The liner notes were poetry. The cover art was iconic. And every crackle, every pop felt like it belonged. Those albums knew you better than anyone. They held your secrets, your stories, your growing pains. And even now, decades later, when you hear one of those songs on the radio, your heart still remembers. Teen bedrooms in the 1970s were messy, loud, colorful, and absolutely perfect. They were where we became who we were meant to be. They were safe havens, secret worlds, and launching pads filled with everything we loved, feared, and dreamed about. So now we ask you, what did your teenage room look like? Did you have the lava lamp? The beanbag? The posters? Share your memories in the comments. We'd love to read them.